afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm China Green. We start this Veterans Day news at noon with a live look from our Timberline Skycam, where ski season is just getting started. On Saturday, the resort started limited hours, opening 9 a.m. to 4 daily, weather permitting, of course. Two of the lifts are now up and running, but beginner terrain is not available just yet. More lifts and terrain will open up as the season progresses. And with snow starting to fall on the mountain, Rod, you have a look at the driving conditions out there.
Yeah, I want to let you know, since we're opening up with snow on the mountain, Timberline will be in the upper 20s to 30 much of this afternoon, and they are picking up some limited fresh powder today, but at pass level, everything, at least for the remainder of this afternoon on this Veterans Day, should be in good shape. And it's 37 degrees and clearly all wet at Government Camp. Now, you get the Santiam and Willamette passes, you get more of snow roadside, but here, temperatures have been hovering around freezing, and ODOT's got those in pretty good shape. Well, here we are with snow levels set to hold at about 4,000 to 4,500 feet this afternoon. It's, of course, rain showers in the valley. Now, so far, it's been a pretty decent morning here in downtown Portland. Some heavier rain pockets where you see the orange and yellow are bouncing off the Coast Range into Yamhill and Washington counties. The coast, and we talked about this on Sunrise this morning, sometimes on these showery days, the beaches end up getting more sun than we see here in the valley. And so far, that's been the case. Here's the end of the Oregon Trail Interpretive Center down in Oregon City. There's the live camera out in the Dalles from the Oregon Veterans Home. We're at 53. We just continue to be in the 50s this afternoon. Showers are out there. Maybe where you are, you don't see much rain, but on the flip side, maybe you will get hit with a couple downpours. Both are possible this afternoon. China?
Thank you, Rod. Several cities, including Portland and Vancouver, hosted parades this morning to celebrate and honor those who served and continue to serve. Also this morning at 11, the University of Portland ended its annual 24-hour vigil to honor veterans. The vigil began at 11 yesterday morning at the Praying Hands Memorial on the east quad of campus.
It's very important to me, especially because I come from a long line of military service, and I'd love to give back to them and just show how much I appreciate and how much we can honor them and their service to the country and to our people.
Definitely an immense sense of pride, honor, just knowing what I'm there for.
Both an Army and Air Force cadet stood watch at the memorial. Throughout the 24-hour vigil, cadets rotated every 30 minutes.
We know that they don't have our interest or the interest of our students in mind.
And teachers in the Greater Albany School District could hit the picket line as soon as tomorrow morning if the union and district do not reach a deal during mediation today. We're talking 600 teachers in all here. And if they walk off the job tomorrow, this will be the first strike by Albany teachers since the late 1980s. Teachers and their supporters rallied outside the district building over the weekend. The union says that they have not seen any meaningful movement from the district when it comes to pay, school safety, and student resources.
Our bargaining team is inside in mediation. We're trying to avoid a strike on Tuesday, and we are working on trying to reach an agreement.
The school district says it's been actively negotiating in good faith and is working hard to find resolution to keep schools open. The district says today's mediation session will last as long as needed, even overnight, to try and reach an agreement with the union and avoid closing schools. Police in Lincoln City are investigating a deadly shooting involving a Lincoln County Sheriff's deputy yesterday evening. Around 7:40 last night, deputies responded to a call about a man firing a rifle from a home on Rolfe Court in Waldport. They say the person walked out of the home and the gun was ultimately shot by a deputy. The person was taken to an area hospital but died. The gun was recovered from the scene. We'll keep you updated on this story as we learn more. Search teams found the body of a 33-year-old missing hiker, James McDonald, in the Mount Hood National Forest. McDonald, who was a radiologist at OHSU, had been reported missing since Wednesday and was found on Friday. According to McDonald's in-laws, he was only supposed to be on a hike for a few hours last Wednesday. When he didn't come home that night, his family called police. While Clackamas County Sheriff's Office could not confirm the cause of death, his family is under the impression that he got lost.
What we have heard is that he was lost and became lost and only had his hoodie. He was not prepared for overnight in the cold temperatures, etc.
McDonald leaves behind a wife and 4 young children. The family is now looking for donations to help. If you're interested in donating, you can find the link to the family's GoFundMe on our website, kgw.com. In New York, friends are remembering the Portland nurse killed while on a vacation overseas. A candlelight vigil was held over the weekend for Kenzie Michalski in her hometown of Fredonia, New York. After a frantic search, police in Budapest arrested an Irish man in her murder. Following the news, community members collected donations and put together this vigil to show Kenzie's family that they're not alone.
Even though they don't live here anymore, the love for them is still here.
And that's what this is all about. You know, in a small community, we look out for one another, we love one another, and we grieve with one another when it's necessary.
Kenzie was a nurse at Providence St. Vincent's Medical Center in Southwest Portland. In a statement, the hospital said that she was a great friend and caregiver. Over the weekend, the Oregonian called the races for City Council District 2 and 3, meaning there are now 10 winners in the races for City Council. 2 are still too close to call this afternoon, but in District 1, the Oregonian projects Candace Avalos and Loretta Smith have secured their seat on the council, though they say the third seat is still too close to call for Jamie Dunphy. In District 2, Samir Kanal, Dan Ryan, and Ilana Pirtle-Guinea will represent North and Northeast Portland. In District 3, the Oregonian has called the race for Southeast Portlanders Tiffany Koyoma Lane, Angelita Murillo, and Steve Novick. In District 4, Olivia Clark and Mitch Green have won their seats, but the third is still too close to call for Eric Zimmerman. This weekend, Multnomah County said that there are over 10,000 ballots whose signatures have been challenged. And other voters must fix that issue by the 26th, so those ballots can be counted. The county is expected to release another round of results on Wednesday. Meanwhile, state officials in Oregon have revealed an additional 56 people, likely not U.S. citizens, were mistakenly registered to vote. This comes on top of the more than 1,500 people who were found to have been mistakenly registered without proof of U.S. citizenship earlier this year. Election staff at the time said that the issue had been corrected, but it led to an audit of the DMV's motor voter program and paused the transfer of DMV voter registration information to the Secretary of State. According to the DMV, staff accidentally marked foreign passports as U.S. passports.
Well, I think that sort of thing is kind of bound to happen.
If that slip up is happening with that, what else are they slipping up on?
I think that there shouldn't have been a mistake like that made at all, honestly. I mean, how do you make a mistake like that?
DMV officials say every month they'll sample voter registration records and provide reports to the governor. Staff will also have to do yearly trainings to prevent the issue from happening again. Here's a look at some national headlines this afternoon. This morning, President Biden and Vice President Harris took part in a Veterans Day wreath-laying ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery. Biden led the delegation into the ceremony and placed a wreath with full military honors at the tomb of the unknown soldier. The president then delivered remarks paying tribute on this Veterans Day to the men and women who have served and continue to serve in the nation's armed forces. Over the past few days, President-elect Donald Trump has named several people that he wants in his administration. That list includes House GOP Conference Chair Elise Stefanik, who Trump picked to serve as U.S. ambassador to the United States. On Sunday, Trump announced that he would be naming former Immigration and Customs Enforcement Director Tom Homan as a supporting border czar. He'll also be in charge of deporting anyone found to have entered the U.S. illegally. And those are your national headlines. Coming up on the news at noon, last year, Portland struck down a controversial program aiming to curb gun violence, and now residents of Tacoma neighborhood are voicing their concerns over the very same program. Residents in Tacoma, Washington are voicing their concerns with a new pilot program that detects gunshots. It's planned for a neighborhood known for violent crime. The program is called ShotSpotter. Our Evan Watson covered a plan from the city of Portland to implement it back in 2022. The city backtracked in early 2023, opening the process to other gunshot detection proposals and community feedback. But Brady Wakayama has more on how Tacoma residents are feeling.
A packed room on the Evergreen Tacoma campus, filled with dozens of people concerned with the city's newest pilot program, a gunshot detection technology known as ShotSpotter. The city says it will first be implemented in a 2-square-mile area in the Hosmer neighborhood, identified by the city as one of the areas with the highest violent crime rates.
There's concerns around over-policing in black and brown neighborhoods when it comes to this technology.
Latasha Palmer, along with other local organizations, organized Sunday's public forum addressing the new program. The city says is used in 150 other places around the country. It believes ShotSpotter will help the police department respond to a higher percentage of gunfire incidents, improve its response times, and help it locate key evidence to identify and investigate suspects. However, this panel, made of local university professors and community advocates, disagree.
ShotSpotter frequently repeated claims that it is 97% accurate and is likely misleading because it is not based on any testing or proper measure of accuracy.
The way that you prevent gun violence is not by showing up after the gun go off. You prevent gun violence by giving people a reason not to pick up the gun in the first place.
The city is using a $800,000 grant from the Federal Department of Justice to fund this pilot program through the end of 2027. Many attending this forum believe the city should have invested in other avenues to address crime.
Nobody here wants crime, everybody wants to feel safe, but it makes sense to involve the community in these issues so that the solutions don't end up causing more problems.
In Tacoma, Brady Wakayama, King 5 News.